where do we stand when it comes to God versus government?
Well, we've got to understand that the government is God's institution. He put it in place. All authority is from God. And so the authority that's given to government is a delegated authority. And when God delegates authority to any sphere, whether the home or the church or the governing authorities, he does that with purpose. And that purpose limits the extent of that authority. And so we have to understand that government is the servant of God, a deacon of God. That's the way it's described there in Romans 13:4. And so with that, we can begin to home in on what's the purpose of government. Well, the purpose of government is to punish evil and praise those who do good. And good and evil are as God defines it. The governing authorities don't get to make up what's good and what's evil in accord with the whims of the culture. And the governing authorities are going to be held accountable to the Lord for their exercise of authority. It will be a part of their judgment. And of course, if they go into that judgment without Christ, well, they're going to spend an eternity away from the blessed presence of Christ. If they go into that judgment with Christ, well, they're going to be covered by his blood, and therefore it'll be merely an account that they give without any condemnation. But nevertheless, the governing authorities are going to give an account. And so our responsibility as the church is to ensure the government understands its role and function. We're the pillar and support of the truth. And so if we don't inform the government on their purpose, no one will. And that means that we have a responsibility as the church to stand for righteousness and obedience to Christ when they're reaching beyond their authority. And that's what we did. And so by doing that, there's a twofold effect. Number one, we're testifying to the government that its deeds are evil. And number two, it yields in a number of occasions, numerous occasions, whereby we can proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ and call people to repentance and faith in him. So we need to understand the purpose of government, that it's limited, and that they are well out of their lane when they begin to dictate the terms of worship to the church.